What's up everyone, I'm Joey. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these beautiful 12 balloon clusters with streamers hanging from them. This is a great decorative piece for the corners of tents, for fence posts, and many other locations. I'm going to share with you my step-by-step process, and I'll also share many of my tips and tricks for successfully building 12 balloon clusters. I'm going to jump right into it, so if you appreciate that, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more balloon decoration tutorials. The supplies you're going to need are 12 balloons. I'm going to use 4 different colors, so I have 3 gold, 3 white, 3 blue, and 3 black. You're also going to need streamers, which I've already cut 2 of each color. I've got 3 colors here, 2 gold, 2 gray, and 2 white. I have these cut into 5-foot long pieces, and I have them tied together in a double knot with a balloon twisting balloon. If you're going to make more than one of these, I highly recommend batching your work. So cut all your streamers at once and then tie them into groups of 6 with a balloon twisting balloon. If it were me building these for an event and I needed to build like 10 or 12 of these, I would build as many of these as I can in the comfort of my own home and see how many of them that I can fit in my vehicle. You can also build these on site, which I'll share a little bit more about later in the video, but especially if it's an outdoor event and you're not sure if you're gonna have electricity or not, build as many of them as you can fit in your vehicle ahead of time. I'm going to be using my dual nozzle balloon inflator. This has a cord and I have electricity here at my house, but if you're going to be outdoors and you're not sure if you're going to have electricity, I will share more about this cordless balloon inflator a little bit later on in the video. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how big a 12-inch balloon will actually get and how big we actually need these balloons. You can see that there's a pretty stark difference of how big this balloon will actually get and the size that we're going to actually need for these clusters. These are 12-inch balloons, so once the balloon's about 12 inches, the air starts going into the neck or the nozzle of the balloon, and that's what creates this pear shape. We don't want that pear shape, and we also don't want balloons that are this big. So I'm going to deflate all of the air in this balloon so that I have a size that's kind of like this, 8 to 10 inches. Most of the time I overinflate the balloons and then I let some air out to get the size that I'm actually looking for. Now, once I have the size that I'm looking for, I'm going to tie these 2 balloons together. This will save me from tying one balloon, then tying the other balloon, and then tying the balloons together. It saves a lot of time. You're going to need to double knot these balloons, so here's what this looks like. So first I am going to cross over my balloons left over right. Then I'm going to switch my left hand, bring it under this left balloon and bring that left balloon under so that both of my hands are on top and both the balloons are on the bottom. This has created my first cross, the first knot. Now what I'm going to do is stick my middle finger out in front of this left nozzle, put the right nozzle against my finger, pull my finger in so that I'm creating a little gap down here, and then push this nozzle through the back and then pull it towards me so that it creates that second knot. So that's the quickest way that I've found to tie 2 balloons together. Because we're doing this in an indoor area, I can just toss these off to the side and inflate all of these at once, and that's going to make it a lot quicker. Now that I have all my pairs made, I'm going to start by attaching 2 pairs to each other. So I'm going to hold the nozzles close to each other and then twist around the top 2 balloons 3 times. Now we have a small cluster of 4. Let's add another pair. I'm going to push these nozzles in as close as I can to the nozzles that are already in the cluster and then twist around this top black balloon with a balloon in the cluster. Now we've got a cluster of 6. Let's add another one. All right, cluster of 8. Let's add another one. I want all of these nozzles as close to the center as possible. So if I'm noticing that there's a gap in between some of the nozzles, I'm going to try to use this pair to wrap around the entire cluster and tighten up that central location in there. So I just brought these two blue balloons from that side, and now I have them on this side. I'm gonna twist them around each other here. And that should have tightened up that core group of nozzles in there. Now, before I add my last pair, I am going to attach a twisting balloon to the middle of this pair. So I'm going to just wrap it around the middle and tie a knot in it. One knot should be fine if I'm pulling it tight. I'm gonna make a double knot just in case. Now, let's add this last pair to our cluster. Now that we have all 12 balloons in this cluster, I'm gonna try to arrange them so that the colors are kind of spread out. I don't want 3 whites all in a row here or 2 blacks in a row here. I'm gonna try my best to not let any of the balloons of the same color touch each other. And I'm also going to keep holding on to this balloon twisting balloon because I don't want the end of this caught in the middle here, because I'm gonna use this to attach it to this post. All right, I've done somewhat of a decent job of mixing around these colors, so now I'm going to attach this using my twisting balloon that is already attached to the center of this cluster. If you have a thin enough post, you can slide the balloons onto the post before you start wrapping the twisting balloon around the post and around the cluster. Once I've slid the cluster onto the posts, a lot of times you can move it up and down if you need to. And now what I'm going to do is use this balloon twisting balloon to wrap it around the post and around the balloons in this cluster. And after I've wrapped that twisting balloon around about 3 times, I can just let it go and it should stay. Now just grab one of your pre-made bundles of streamers that you already have a balloon twisting balloon tied to the top of them. And with one hand, I'm going to stick this knot into the center of this cluster. And with the other hand, I'm going to wrap around the twisting balloon around the cluster. And I want the streamers coming out of the bottom of the cluster. So once I have this knot towards the center of the cluster, I'm going to carefully make sure the streamers are coming out of the bottom. And I'll finish wrapping this balloon twisting balloon around the cluster. So that is how you make a balloon cluster with streamers. Now, there are certain circumstances where you might need to do this outdoors and away from electricity. So let me share with you the easiest way to get that done. Let's say you don't have a vehicle big enough to transport these to the event. The event is outside and in the middle of nowhere where you don't have electricity. Well, there are ways to do this, and let me show you how. If that's the case, you would want to build these balloon clusters on site using a cordless balloon inflator. This is an amazing invention, and if you're doing an event that's going to be outdoors and you're not sure if you'll have electricity or not, I highly recommend this cordless balloon inflator that is powered by a DeWalt battery. This balloon inflator is relatively cheap and comes with several different inflation methods, so let's say you like camping and you need to inflate like a camping pillow or an air mattress or something like that. There's attachments for that. I'll add a link to this balloon inflator in the description as well as these DeWalt batteries. The way this thing works is you just snap in the battery, make sure that it clicks, and hold this round button to turn it on. Once you see this little light on the right side, that is setting 1. There's 3 settings similar to like a ceiling fan where you have low, medium, and high. This is the amount of air that is going to be coming out of the inflator. Setting 1 is the lowest setting. It's indicated by this right light. Setting 2 is if you click this round button again, the light goes to the left side, and if you click it again, you have setting 3, which is when you see both lights. This trapezoid button up here is what starts your inflator. I'm gonna hold this button and then flip through the settings so you can kind of hear the different low, medium, high settings. You can kind of hear the sound to get higher pitch and higher pitch depending on how fast it gets. Again, if I had the option, I would make these at home using my dual nozzle electric balloon inflator and see how many of these clusters I could fit in my car, but we are not going to be using this. We are going to be using this single nozzle cordless balloon inflator, and I would still prep these ribbons 5 feet long, tie them at the end with a balloon twisting balloon, and make sure that I have these streamer bundles ready so that I don't have to cut them and tie them on site. That just takes up time during the setup, and like I said, I'm gonna prep as many things as I possibly can before the event. That alleviates a lot of stress and it saves time. If you have to build these outdoors with no electricity, here's what you're gonna do. Inflate 2 balloons, one at a time. I overinflate them and then let some air out. Don't tie them individually, just tie them to each other. Before I start on my second pair, I am going to attach a balloon twisting balloon to the center here. A single knot will probably work, but just to be safe, I'm going to do a double knot. I'm gonna hold this pair under my arm because if it's windy, these things are just gonna blow away outside. And balloons are temperamental, so sometimes if they land on the cement or even if they touch a blade of grass, they're gonna pop. So I've gotta keep this off the ground, under my arm, until I make my second pair. I want these about the same size as my first pair and tie them together. Now that I have 2 pairs, I'm going to connect them by putting the nozzles close to each other and twisting the top balloons around each other 3 times. And just so you know, I've been holding on to this balloon twisting balloon just so that I don't lose it in the mix here. So now that I have a 4 balloon cluster, I'm going to put it where it's going to be located. And this has to be off the ground. This can't blow around in the wind. If I have a narrow post like this, I can slide it in between the balloons. Then I'm going to use my twisting balloon to wrap it around the post and the cluster. Do this about 5 to 6 times and then just let go of the twisting balloon. Now from here, we're just going to inflate 2 balloons at a time, tie them together, and add them to our cluster. To attach this next pair to my cluster, it's pretty much the same method. I'm going to get these nozzles as close to the center of the cluster as possible, and then wrap one of these balloons around another balloon in the cluster a few times. And we're just going to repeat that process until we've added all of the balloons to the cluster, making sure that they are the same size and the correct size. Tie them together, add them to the cluster. And last pair to add to the cluster. And like I said, if you need to adjust the height of this, just stick your hand along the pole and just shove the center of this cluster up the pole or down the pole, whatever way you need it. It takes a little bit of force. Now take our streamers with our balloon twisting balloon and add them the same way we did with the first one. And that is how you would make an outdoor balloon cluster if you didn't have room in your vehicle for transporting these and you didn't have a corded balloon inflator. Now, if you just want your balloon cluster on a wall, you can use a wall hook, something like this. All you need to do is make your cluster just like we did the first time. Use a balloon twisting balloon to tie in a circle. You're gonna need to double knot it. You want as big of a circle as you can make with a balloon twisting balloon. You might need to use 2 balloon twisting balloons and tie each end together to make a big enough loop. And once you have this loop, wrap it around 2 balloons in your cluster. And now you have an elastic loop to attach to this wall hook. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Again, if this was helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps me out. And don't forget to subscribe for more balloon decoration content. Let me know how it goes for you in the comments below, or if you would do anything different. And check out some of the links in the description to the supplies that I use. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.